All right, so here we are. We got Jonathan Davis, guest number 7, lucky number 7, right? We're going to talk a little Sunbird DCIM. And the last time we did this, we had Daryl Hartsock on, right? He hates when I do that.
Is that how you say the last name?
Hartsock! Yeah, anyway, Daryl, hey, we're missing you out here. We saw him in Vegas last time. We also did a show on Sunbird DCIM showing how that data that's pulled from your software can be basically transferred to our printers and printed for the printers. We're not here to talk about that. I'll talk about that crap all day, whenever, right? We're here to basically throw the spotlight on you, specifically you, and you can talk about Sunbird if you want, right? Okay. But nonetheless, is that I wanted you guys to come on to, because software and management of that network and components and infrastructure and everything is very, very important. Very important. When I was a contractor, it was, we print up an Excel spreadsheet, and we give to the IT manager, and that really was his mapping, and things have come a long way when I actually had to work for a living. And so when I saw your software firsthand, and I was blown away, absolutely blown away. And so with that continuance. Talk a little bit about Sunbird, talk about who you're going after, talk about anything new and exciting in the Sunbird world. So, on you, brother.
All on me. So by the way, I have had, in the last month, 2 opportunities that have asked me, how are we going to print labels out of this thing?
I love that. I love this guy. I got to tell you right now, you know what, the word labeling coming out of your mouth is just, oh man, it's exciting. Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be a BSer, would you?
No, I'm not a BSer. And I can't tell you the names yet, but I did ask them, what are they using to print the labels?
Okay.
And I didn't get the right answer, but I got an answer.
That's okay.
And so that's becoming more and more important. We have a new feature that was somewhat supported in the past, but now we've augmented that. It's an audit facility in our software. So you can walk around with your mobile phone, do your typical audits. It could be RFID, it could be barcode, and you have a full access to our software on that smartphone. And at that point, after you're done with the audit or during that, we might be outputting some data to create labels during that audit process. So even though it sounds like I'm working you here, it's actually very relevant to our success, being able to have that facility and be able to print labels for the end users.
I appreciate that. And one of the things that I'm big on these days is asset management using barcodes. And I'm real big on QR codes. And so one of the interesting things about, and we on the previous webcast, is that we can take that information, like you said, and transpose that into asset management barcodes, right? And even though they didn't mention whoever this person was that needed labeling, there's a high probability they can't do what we do together. So you know what? We can talk about that at some other time. But no, I sincerely appreciate how you feel about labeling and IDs. I mean, that's fantastic, man.
And so let me expand on that a little bit. This person asking about labeling, I asked them how they're doing it. And they said, well, we have to type in on that labeling interface every asset. There's no database uptake. They can't do what you're doing. And so they're going to be looking for a labeling solution if they adopt our software, probably if they adopt any piece of.
All right. Well, no, I sincerely appreciate it. You guys are tops in the industry. I give you props all the time. When I'm out there singing praises and any spec situations, or even if I'm talking to a customer and they want to talk about managing their assets and their network, I mean, it is mutual that I do recommend Sunbird as a solution, and I'm very gracious that you're recommending us. And again, folks, the way it works is that very, very simple. You build the assets, you build everything inside of Sunbird DCIM. That can be extracted as a CSV, put in our software, and then transposed as anything you want. General labels, cable labels, patch panel labels, you name it, QR codes. Very, very simple, easy to do. If you want to learn how to do that, reach out to me. I will get some information, some contact information, And then look at the previous episode that I had with Daryl on Sunbird, because we kind of went through the whole thing, start to finish on there. So, anything else? I'm not putting you on the spot. I mean,
Yeah. So I do have a question.
Sure.
Why QR? Why QR as opposed to a traditional barcode?
I knew somebody would ask me a question today. You're the first one. So, barcodes, and I'll try and make this quick because it is complicated. So barcodes come in 1D and 2D. 1D is a thing like a UPC or UPS, or not UPS, but UPC, EAN label. And so when you get into 2D barcodes, you can put much more information on there. A 1D barcode is very limited, right?
Yep.
A 2D
But
barcode,
do you need that information? I guess that's what I'm getting at. Do I need that information?
Well, I think you do. I mean, I think you do. Any asset, right, that you're putting in there. Now, things like I'm starting to put QR codes on labels, believe it or not. Go scan a label, and it shows you every jump. You're tracking the jumps. So one of the things we can do is we can put a barcode on the rack, and it shows where everything comes from and to.
Yeah, when you have a good DCIM software.
And when you have, nice plug. I like that. I like that.
Okay, so I know we have limited time. Let's talk. Actually, I do have another question.
Okay.
Labeling cables, specifically high density. Do you have a solution for that?
High density patch panels, or the new Cat 6 smaller OD?
Let's say the most difficult labeling situation you can encounter. How do you manage that? Because I'm being asked that.
Okay, so here's the way contractors currently do it if they're not using Brother. On a high density patch panel, right? They're trying to basically cram 10 gallons of crap into a 5-gallon bucket, right? And so the port spacing smaller and the labeling spacing smaller, and what a lot of contractors are doing is they're trimming off the label and they're trying to fit it in there, into that space. We have a 9/64 label, believe it or not. Very thin label that will fit on that patch panel configuration. There is new Cat 6A out there, and the new Cat 6A is a smaller OD, right? Now what that means to a contractor is instead of using our predetermined template for Cat 6A, you can now use a Cat 5 label, the template, and you're saving label. As far as putting asset management onto labels, again, I can put a micro QR code on there, or even flagging. So high density, it's becoming even more high density, but there's ways around it. And we don't want the contractor taking the snips and cutting the top and the bottom to fit inside certain areas. Is that what you were asking, or was that completely off base?
Yeah, because it's becoming an issue.
Okay.
And we have the data, you have the solution for the labeling, and I'm being asked to bring those two together.
Okay. All right, so guest number 8, frequent visitor to my show. Thank you very much, Mark.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. There's some new and exciting things happening with Brother and apps, and there's always new stuff with Fluke. Within the world of Fluke, and we'll talk, this boring crap about labeling here in a minute, because there's been a little bit of change on our side, but from the Fluke perspective, I mean, hell, you and I always talk about when I was a contractor working for a living, when I was using the DSP units.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then that progressed to the DTX.
Yep.
And now we're on the DSX, I believe.
That's right.
Wow.
You got that right.
Wow. The Versatives, right? And I got to tell you, just about everywhere I go, man, you know what? Your Versatives there. And so, hey, that's great. That's good.
We're glad.
That's good. You know what? And I am blessed actually to have that Versative there because of our existing collaboration, which goes back many years. And we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, we'll talk about that. That collaboration still exists.
Yep.
It's still bleeding edge, cutting edge technology that was developed years ago. We've expanded upon it a little bit, and we'll go into that in just a second. I won't bore you with that. But from your side of the fence, Fluke side, is there anything new? New programs, new models, anything that you guys have that is worth talking about? And if you sit there and tell me no, then I'm going to have to come up with a whole bunch more crap to talk about.
Of course not. No. We got kind of stuff to talk about. We've, you talk about all those customers that have been using the Versative. We've got a lot of Versatives out there in the field. And I'm wearing a hat, and it's kind of, I'd like to get you to wear one too, but I don't know. You got that sporting
Well,
that
you know
pretty
what?
styling one.
No. Let's do this right.
I don't know. Do you have a big head like me? Because we'll see if you can get it on there.
My boss says I've got a head that's about this big. So you ask Craig Robinson, and he will tell you that I've got the biggest head of anyone he's ever seen. So anyway, go.
To kind of say a thank you to those customers, we've come up with this new campaign. We call it Not Just Installed, Certified, because we know the customers that use our product, they go the extra mile. They don't just do the basic work of installing the system, but they certify it. Looks good on you.
Thank you very little.
And so, we're awarding our customers this, I guess you'd say, or just gifting it to them. And so that's one thing that's going on, a little campaign around thanking our customers for using our product so much. And then, the other thing, we got a couple of little things that are kind of fun to talk about. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this on the camera.
Oh, she can see everything. She hears everything too.
One of the things we've launched is this is an LC connector, right? A fiber optic LC connector.
Yeah.
And what's unique about it, if you look at it very carefully, you realize it's made out of metal. Because what happens is our customers, when they're certifying a whole lot of fiber optic installations, they have to take their test reference cords and they have to stick them in a whole lot of different fiber optic ports, maybe thousands of them.
Yep.
And what happens is that little plastic tab breaks off.
Aha. The key.
Yeah, not on this one.
Okay.
So this is a metal tab, but we didn't stop there. We put rounded corners on it up here so it's easier to insert.
Wow.
We made it a little bit longer and we rounded the thing on it. So if you're going to do this hundreds of times a day, it's going to feel a lot better on your finger when the day is done. So that's just a little thing that we've done. All of our test cords with LC connectors now have that. So that's a great thing. And then another little thing we've done. This is little things. This is our new Fiber Alert live fiber detector. And what that does is you just put it in front of a fiber optic port, or maybe the end of a cable, like maybe one of these.
Yeah.
And if it's live, it beeps and it lights up.
Just like that.
Just like that. Yep. Very, very simple. And, I have a good story of a customer that one of the first guys that used this, he told me about it. So he said, I'll need to patch in some new fiber optic links, right? And the network guys will tell me, port 26A, you can use port 26A. We're not using port 26A. It's great, thank you very much. So I take this, I turn it on, I go to port 26A, I unplug it, I put this in it, and if it beeps, I plug that thing right back in really fast, and I call him up and I said, yeah.
By the way.
You're not right. 26A is being used.
It's hot.
And I don't really want to be responsible for all of the upset people when that thing stops working. So, that's the kind of thing you use it for. You got an SFP, you don't know if it's working, stick this in, beeps, lights up, it's good.
I was in, where the hell was I? Hell, I don't remember where the hell I was this morning. Oh, I was in Orlando for the EDI show.
Yeah.
And I ran into, in fact, she's here, I forget her name. Caroline.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got to see this a little bit, and we did a video clip of this in action, but I didn't get the full stories, and it was very quick. So I'm glad you went into that. But, time is money.
Yeah.
And to your story is that if that node went down, I mean, we're talking about liability. We're talking about something going on.
Yeah.
You know what's going to go down, right?
Yeah, with fiber, you got to be careful, right?
Oh, hey.
You don't want to unplug the wrong fiber. That's for sure.
Yep. So real quick, as far as and I'll go in this, and we're going to do another show together.
Sure.
Did you know that?
We've been talking about it. Yeah.
Did you remember that?
Oh yeah, I remembered that.
Did I email you?
You did. You emailed me. Well, I don't think we have a topic yet.
So
old guys talking about old guy stuff. I think you said
I like
that
that subject.
Yeah.
I really do. Why don't we just do that? Forget this testing and labeling stuff. Let's just talk about the issues of getting old. Anyway, what we're going to talk about, in case you don't know, is that right now that we have this collaboration. We have an app that goes up in a Linkware Live, and as a contractor builds a job and they put it up on Linkware Live, the app goes up there and grabs this and brings it down. And not only can you load the Versiv with it, but you can load the PTE 550W. But
all your cable identifiers.
All your cable identifiers, but it's been limited to the PTE 550W.
Oh.
Yep.
I knew you had a new version coming, but I didn't know about that.
It's called the Pro Label Tool. And one of the things with the Pro Label Tool is that you actually will take that job, if you will, and instead of dumping it into the printer, you can actually work right from the phone. And you can take that database and you can build the job right on the phone. Now, that opens it up to not only the PTE 550W, but some of the printers you see behind me, I think they're back there. Well, no, you can't see the PTE 800 because Kate's camera's on it. but it opens it up to any Wi-Fi enabled printer. And so you and I will talk about that. I really think it's cool. I think it's a very powerful app, right? And we'll talk about that. I'd love to have you on the show. I'd love to talk about it, talk about where we've been and where we're going. Hell, I don't know where we're going.
That sounds good. That sounds good. I mean, the 550, I've got one and I use it for stuff. I don't label a lot of cable, but I have to label other things. So I use it all the time for stuff like that, and it's a great labeler. But I assume there's other good ones too that you guys make.
We're going to expand into some desktops with this using the same Fluke database, if you will. And it's a very powerful app, if you will. So I'd like to sit down and talk with you about it, how it fits in with your line of the Versiv and the DTXs, and well, not the DTXs, the DSXs.
There you go. Thank you.
There. So anyway, thank you very much for
You're welcome.
coming on
Thanks
board.
for giving me the time.
You know what? You are so worth my time and so worth the dime. And,
That's nice.
Are you forgetting anything you wanted to talk about, or?
No, I covered the cool. It's little things, you know.
It is the little things.
Little things.
Is this mine to keep, or do you want this back?
That is yours to keep.
Okay.
No, you can wear it all you want.
I will. Thank you. Loud and proud. Thank you very much.
All right.
Mark.
Thank you, Todd.
Take care of yourself. So, guest number, I think it's 8. Lucky number 8. Welcome to BS with Romo show. The BS with Romo show. You didn't catch it before. We were having a good time before this, talking, and I've known Gilbert for many years. Our hair was a different color back in the day, right?
Yes.
We had hair. Well, you still have a little bit of hair.
I got a little.
There's a reason why I'm covering what I don't have. You know how vain I am, and so this is the first time with BS with Todd that we've had a contractor on, if you will. And you go beyond just a contractor, and we'll get into that later. But I have been dealing with IES since David Potts in Albuquerque.
Yeah?
At that Intel site, I think it was up there. Anyway, I was working for another manufacturer. I'm not going to mention those turds, but hey, how you doing? But you all know who it is. Thank you. IES in the house, right here. I told you, big hit. All right. So. That was not planned either. They saw these two sitting over here and us together, and it was a wave. There was like a wave going through the whole the cabling skills challenge. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. But one of the things here at BICSI, typically in Florida, is a cabling skills challenge. We'll get there. I'm not trying to steal anybody's thunder. But anyway, going back to IES, I've been dealing with IES for a long time, and Class Act. And I have to be careful how I say that. All right, but no, because I cuss a lot. And I told you I cuss a lot. But think about it, Class Act. Got to be careful on that. But they are, and first guys on ever as far as the contractor side of the fence. And contractors are very important too, brother, because obviously they're the ones out in the field using labeling, and we're not going to go into the labeling aspect. That's going to be for a different show that he said he's going to be on one of these times, all right? And we'll save that for that next show. We're not going to bore you with the labeling aspect, but what I'd like to do, and I've also got Mr. Tom Emma, that's right?
Oh, yeah. It's good. Nice and easy.
We're going to talk about IES, and I know IES has a big presence here, correct?
Yes.
Big presence. And I'm real big into social media, and I'm seeing stuff all over Facebook and Instagram and and LinkedIn and about IES's participation here and how you guys are supporting BICSI and how you guys are supporting the arts. And so as far as this is your first time at BICSI, right? IES or
No, we've got a really long relationship with BICSI.
Okay.
Over 38 years we've just been into training. And with BICSI, we have certified training centers across the U.S.
But I mean a booth.
Booth, yes. Yeah. First time they're allowing contractors in here.
Okay, all right.
So yes.
All right. So
Thank you, BICSI.
I was partially right because I have yet to see a contractor, and when I saw them on the list of our participants, I went, that's fantastic. So anyway, first time as a contractor here at a booth.
Yeah.
Going back to what you're saying as far as your involvement in BICSI, it's been, 30-something years?
Yep.
Training centers all over the place, right? Over that direction, where we just heard the crowd erupt, right? For these gentlemen here, we got the Cabling Skills Challenge. And I understand that IES has a couple of participants.
We have 3 guys over there that we brought in to compete in the skills challenge with the rest of the contractors.
How they doing? I mean, you don't have to. You
So far, pretty good. We won't find the results till tomorrow night at the awards banquet. But pretty impressed with what they're doing so far. They're doing a great job.
Okay, well.
We expect to take home some hardware.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Over the last few years, we've had some people who have won their divisions, and super proud of them. We've got a new group of people who wanted to get involved and come compete, and we're so proud of the effort they're putting in. And win, lose, or draw, we're super proud, and we're happy to be here.
Well, so as far as anything new and exciting within IES, so we talked about you guys are involved in everything, and it's not just BICSI. These guys are involved in everything, all right? Charities and you name it, IES is always there. They're infamous for their support, the golf tournaments and everything else that IES does for all of the industry and you know what, for that fact, humanity, for God's sakes. And so they're real big into that, and it's near and dear to my heart. And I appreciate your endeavors out there.
Thank you.
To make this a better world. And at the end of the day, it really is. It's just trying to make it a better world, one little thing at a time. And you guys have done a fantastic job. So, IES is always growing. I know that. Right? Always growing. Oh, my gosh. And anything new and exciting with IES that you want to talk about? Or?
Gilbert, expand on what we've been doing. But, we continue to grow. We're nationwide, right? Coast to coast. We have operations across the entire United States. So, and I'll let Gilbert kind of expand on what we've been doing recently.
Yeah, we've expanded into new geographies. We're in the Rocky Mountains and opened an office in Denver. We just relocated our office in Atlanta, where it's beautiful. Come out and see it. It's beautiful. And we also, in our growth, needed to have an infrastructure that would support it. So we've just promoted 3 vice presidents in the operational side of the business to expand what we've been doing, prepare for the growth that's coming, and really dig deeper into our customer experience. Because to us, that's really what this is about, is to, our involvement here, and we'll get to that, but to train people in a trade that they can make a living, raise families, realize their dreams, but at that same time take care of our customers in a way that we hope is special.
Well, that's one of the things that the last BICSI, we talked to a couple of folks about the industry as a whole. And, I'll take my son, for instance, my son was swabbing noses in Phoenix. Going to ASU, earning a living, swabbing noses during COVID.
Yeah.
And, hey, how you doing? PJ back there, he's making goofy faces, and my rep in Arizona, PJ. Are you standing? He is standing, folks. He's standing right now. But anyway, so I after many years of trying to convince my son, he is now working as an inside sales at Gray Bar under Mr. Norris, Paul Norris.
Yep.
And so I think he finally listened to his old man for maybe the first or second time, and he seems to enjoy it. And so the whole idea is that this is it's a career. It's not just a job.
Right.
And we've all done many things within this industry, and there's lots to do within the industry. So we like to promote that, and obviously IES, there's many things to do within IES, and I know that for a fact because I've been on the contractor side.
Yep.
And within the contractor side, it's not just slinging cable. There's so much more. Now, I recommend everybody to start off slinging cable to learn how this stuff works. But it's just so diverse, right? And I think not tooting anybody's horn, but since you all are sitting here, I think IES is a great starting point. And I know that they're always looking for good people. And I'm not a pitch here, but I'm just saying I think they're a great start. So anything else you want to say?
I appreciate that pitch because we don't manufacture a thing. Our people are our greatest asset. So we put investments many years ago into training. So whether you're an accountant, whether you're in HR, whether you're in sales, whether you want to learn a trade and become a technician and work your way up through the ranks with some of the greatest customers in the world, man, look at our website, right? www.iescomm.com. Lots of career opportunities there, and we are into training, so we will get you to what your passion is.
So check these guys out. And if you're an end user, obviously check them out. Give them an opportunity. If you're looking to get in the business, What a great opportunity, you know, to get in the industry and be trained the right way. I know they're real big on training, as am I, and the standards and everything that goes along with it. So they follow it to a T. Class act operation. You know, this is, I got to tell you guys, this honestly has been the best, right? Am I right, Kate? I haven't come up for air, and there's been no mistakes. I haven't cussed. It's been so fluid, and I'm very impressed with myself. And for me to tell myself I'm very impressed with myself is a big thing. In fact, I'm going to give it a play. Let's give it an applause. We can't do that. It's clapping for everything. That machine farts too, and it does all sorts of stuff. It's wonderful. So anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much.
We appreciate you. We appreciate all you do for us. We appreciate Brother and all they do for the industry, because we rely on your products to make sure we do a good job for our customers.
You know what?
Thank you.
I'm fresh out of $20 bills. I hope you'll accept a 5, maybe. Or,
you can catch me later. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Guest number 9, lucky number 9. I think it's 9, Kate. I don't know. Yeah, right? So I really, I don't know. They're 8 or 9, but you know what? I picked the best for close to last, right? Dan just said I look burnt. I look old and burnt. Did you, right?
A little crusty. Fried.
Yeah, and he's absolutely right. I'm not as old, young as I used to be. I just don't have it. But you know what? I'm going to try and limp through this.
You are powering through.
I will power through. I will limp through it. With the help of with the help of my energy drink here. So anyway, nonetheless, Dan Ferreira.
Yep. That's all right.
No, I was right there.
Oh, that's
I was
all right.
right there.
I cheated you. All right, I'll shut up.
I'm just going to call him Mike. Mike Grindell.
There you go.
All right. Trend Networks. All right. And one of the things, we had a show together already. If you haven't seen it, go back and check out the show. It's a good show.
It was a good show.
Except you had crappy Wi-Fi.
We had
it was horrible.
Wi-Fi.
Remember that, Kate?
Other than that, we
That's
were
down.
great. The
These are the
product was
guys.
great.
All right.
The
But
Wi-Fi
anyway,
was not.
we got the point across. And what we were talking about then was how our app worked with their certifiers.
Right.
And you know what? It works well. It works well. There's no issues.
Right.
And in that case, you would take the database that you build ahead of time, right?
Pre-do it all.
Pre-do it. That's the way to do it. No more sitting in a closet doing this crap,
Right.
all right?
Right.
But the whole idea was to take that and to dump it into the PTE 550, which is, well, this is a 500, but anyway, it's twin. That was the whole idea. Now, we have a new app, and we're going to have to do another show. Would you, on camera, would you be my guest on my next show?
I will. When is it going to be?
I don't know yet, but you said you
well,
will, so it doesn't matter.
I'm busy that day.
Okay, all right. So we'll take a look at some dates and times. Very simple. And what we're doing, and I'm going to let you get to your products in a second. I'm going to say my crap ahead of time, so I can just let you guys go and talk about all the wonderful things you do out there and the wonderful products. But it's essentially it's using our Pro Label Tool app. And now it's a matter of just taking that database that you're going to preload their units, emailing that database to the tech out in the field. That tech in the field uses our PLT now to basically print their labels without having to dump it in there. It also opens it up, instead of just the PTE 550W, it opens up to the PTE 800 and the PTE 900 and future models to come. That was one breath.
That was impressive.
Champ.
That was impressive.
Take another drink. You deserve it.
Thank you very much. So anyway, Dan, you and I have run in together at past shows. We started to work a little closer together prior to that COVID crap that came along. So COVID came along, and we kind of just went, we don't know what the hell we're going to do anymore. And so I've got a couple of propeller heads here. No offense. I've got a couple of propeller. Well, they're right there. Anyway. And they went over and they talked, and we're not going to go into the specifics because I don't know unless you guys want to. He won't say anything to me. But anyway, we're working on some very, very wonderful stuff. It's my understanding.
What I like to tell engineers is it's just software. Come on, it's just software. You can do it, right?
Hey,
Hands all day long.
Dwayne, it's just software.
Dwayne, it's
No
just
problem.
It's just software.
Fix it.
Yeah. It's
no
just
smiles,
software.
no smiles.
Oh, Galison? There you go. All right. So anyway, we'll have a solution by the end of the week. I understand now, right? So anyway, first of all, let's talk about anything new and exciting within the trend cam.
Well, we launched a couple new things, and speaking of COVID, so during COVID, we didn't sit around and do nothing, so our engineers were hard at work. One of the things that we've updated on our cloud platform, and all of our reporting software is cloud-based, which lets us just roll out updates. You don't have to do new software. But we added something we call Anywhere Explorer. So it is a system, and this is all web-based, where you can set up not just your projects, but you can set up a building, a floor, rack. You can do your whole build out, and then populate the cable IDs in each of those. So that will then, if you download that to your land tech, your certifier in the field, then in the field, the technician has that same build out of all the tests. So let's say you do a 5,000 link job. Well, in the certifier, the tech can go into the filters and say, all right, I'm on the 3rd floor and I'm in closet 2, and it will show all the measurements that need to be done there, and then they can boom, 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 do those auto tests in 7 seconds, and they're done. So what it's doing is taking a lot of the back end part where all of the tests are in one big project, and then the project manager has to upload that and then sort through and organize everything into logical levels. So it lets you do that up front, keeps technicians from naming things wrong, and then as you mentioned, you can download that CSV, bring it into your app, and then generate all your labels. So that function is there.
If you get it set up in advance, awesome. You don't always get it set up in advance, right? Sometimes you're out there, it's like, I should have split this up into buildings, or I should have put a different floor, put another rack here. You can actually do that in our cloud as well. You just drag and drop. So you don't have to bring it down to a PC, manipulate it there. You can keep everything in the cloud, the final results that you give to your customer in the cloud. So you don't have to, Microsoft Azure, all the backup redundancy failover policies that you ever want. So you don't have to have your own server administration for all your cable test results. It's really cool. Nobody else can do it.
Access it because it's cloud-based. So.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Pretty. You know what? Impressive. Absolutely impressive. I saw you reach for your phone. Okay?
I'll
So
show you something else.
no. Do you want to show anybody anything, or is this?
Just one other thing, just real quick, I wanted to show you guys is small tester,
Absolutely.
verification tester, right? DOE Pro, had it for a while. We just actually, turn this thing on here. We just have this and we put a Bluetooth app in it. So now we have an app on our phone. So all the test results that you get on here, you just simply hold the save button for 2 seconds. They go to the app on the phone and they go to that same cloud.
That's awesome.
So
That really is.
And this is a verifier. So we did a lot of research with installers and contractors. The verification test is the very first thing you do.
Sure.
And in some cases, that's the only thing to do. And so if you have a verifier, there's been no good way to document it. So now you can at least do a wirement test. Now that is the POE Pro. So the other key application for that is doing POE load testing. So if you go to where an access point or a camera should be for troubleshooting or for initial installation testing, plug it in, it negotiates and determines what class that POE source is. And if it's a class 6 source, then that should give 50 watts. So we will draw 50 watts. And if it gets that or more, we pass it. If it gets fewer than that, we fail it. So from a technician's point of view, you don't need to know what all the different classes of power levels are. It gives you pass-fail. And again, that result can be sent to the phone. You can even use the camera on the phone. So if I'm at that WAP location, I can take a picture of it.
Oh my God.
And that gets attached, and then that gets all uploaded to the cloud. So now you've got either your verification or your POV results
really cool.
with photos. So you can document, with the simple verifier, which typically, you can't, there's no way to document it. We've actually had contractors tell us where the technician will take a picture of the screen with their phone, and that's their report.
So back in my day, talking about old guys, and you're in the club now,
Yes, I am.
is I would use mod taps.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what? It's absolutely, and that's how far back I go. Barbed wire. We used to use the mod taps on the barbed wire. They test. We got the termination right, but nonetheless, this whole business has come so far. So far. And again, I talk and I preach about productivity and products that increase productivity, which time is money. And whether you're labeling or whether you're certifying or whether you're just doing continuity tests, the quicker you can do it, and basically CYA on that, you know, and based upon the new app and CYA, you know, the better. And so, you know, Trend has been on the cutting edge of this for years.
Yeah.
And
We have a long storied history.
Yep.
So.
And there's a long way to go. And I'm not going to get in it or into it on this particular. We'll save it for another show. But there's one other interesting aspect that I discovered a couple of years ago with Trend and a sales call. And all I can tell you is I looked at their certification unit and I saw what it was doing, and it was a holy moment. It really was, and I had never seen it. And at that point, I think it was with Brother 8 years, and it was this rep that made this happen, and it was magic to me. And so one of the things that we're going to hopefully talk about is how to improve that process that I saw. Yeah. And you know what? It may or may not happen, but again, I can tell you that, and we'll save it for the next show. That you know what, we're getting, you know, we're throwing little teasers of baiting. Yeah. We'll go into that a little more, but it was really groundbreaking for me to see that happen. And so hopefully we can expand upon that.
Yeah, you should never have to type in cable IDs more than once. Once you get them somewhere in your network, somewhere in your, whether it's your printer, your certifier, whatever it is, one time. That way you eliminate mistakes, it's faster, it's more productive.
I'll tell you, there's a little a shortcut, Sneak, that I was talking to Dwayne about. So your software, you can generate label IDs and barcodes, right? So from a technician standpoint, again, not having to enter IDs, you can go on Amazon and buy a $15 barcode scanner and plug it into our certifier. And if you've got that list of IDs with the barcode next to it, instead of typing in on the screen, you can just scan that barcode, boop, it enters that ID into the tester, and zero mistakes. So that's another
QR codes. You guys have heard out there, and I mean QR code, 2D printing.
Remember, years ago, I thought QR codes were going to die.
Dead.
And then all of a sudden,
I think COVID brought them back.
No, you want to know why?
Why?
You did.
You said Todd, the power of Todd.
Yeah.
BS with Todd brought
more
QR codes
dense
back.
label printing.
That makes more sense than what I was thinking.
Yeah, well,
it makes much more
You
sense.
are responsible for that.
Now, hopefully, I don't bring mod tabs back. You know, but anyway, QR codes are very important, and starting to do a lot of work in data centers with the QR codes, and that's going to expand, and hopefully that's something that we can all work together as a collaboration on going forward. So, gentlemen, thank you very much. Any closing remarks before?
I'll say it's been an honor to be on BS with Todd for the first time. I feel so grateful.
I'm a two-timer. Thanks for having us again. It's always a pleasure.
You know what?
And work with our partners, it's great. You know, when you get technology that works together, integrates together, it really is. We need to let people know about it, because you can save time.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so the more that we can work with our partners, improve productivity and less time in the field, and it's a win-win-win situation. Win for you, win for me, and our customer, obviously. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. Hi. I have saved the best for last. There he is. There he is. I think he felt more comfortable under the table for a second. I don't know. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because I mean, I know I'm a pretty face, but you don't have to hide. Right? It's not a competition here.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
I got Dan LaGrave here. LaGrave.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so we met in Vegas.
We did. Max Datacom.
Good luck. Yeah, Max Datacom. Right? Last year, maybe a year and a half. I don't know.
Yeah.
You look a little older since the last time I saw you.
Thank you very little.
Well, that's fine.
But yes.
But it's.
I still don't have a bad time.
So we were over at Jason's place at Max Datacom, and Jason cordially introduced us.
Yep. Very good.
And you know what? I have dropped the ball in having you on my show. Yeah, listen, I admit my faults.
No, that's not true at all.
No, I know it is. I admit my faults. Now, my wife will. You know what? She's not going to believe this when she sees this episode. Me admitting that I admit my faults. She knows I'm so full of BS, and that I'm filling your airspace with BS. But no, it has been. It's been my fault that I. But we're going to do a full Monty. We're going to do the full Monty.
All right.
Do you agree to that?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so, what I want to do is, and the whole purpose of this show today from BICSI here in Tampa, right, 2023, is industry. The industry as a whole. And you know what, you got to label your stuff, even your product, right? But I'm not really getting into the labeling aspect because you got to label it. Number two is, hi, how you doing, sir? But I want to talk Hyperline a little bit, right? And what Hyperline brings to this industry. And I'm going to give you the floor,
Okay.
right, for a couple of minutes to kind of go through what you got, what's new, what's exciting.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you having me. And yes, Hyperline, what we bring to the table is really a structured cabling line that is much like everyone else, much like the Hubbles and the Panduits and the Levitons. We're just at a price point that is extremely affordable for everybody. We're a valued line.
Value, value,
And
yep.
we think that that's really what a lot of the installers need. So we're not spec'd in, say, per se, at in a government level, the school so much, sometimes. But really, we spec,
By the way,
we spec our product in. You're welcome.
This is delicious.
I think my sweetie over
This
there.
is IPA.
Yeah.
Well, can I mention that? I don't care. This is the last segment anyway.
Yeah,
so
we're
you know what?
having fun.
Hey folks,
You know what?
I'm having a beer.
Cheers,
Cheers.
Todd.
Yeah. This is BICSI for God's sake. So you know what, folks? Hey, you know what? I'm having a beer. Oh my God, where were we? Anyway, let's. So we were talking about the value add solution that you bring to the table.
Thanks very much.
And
But what I wanted to talk about is we have a certification program. This darn pandemic, what it did for us is it took our BICSI accredited certification process and we decided, you know what, let's just put it online. And so that's what we're doing. We go online, we do it via Zoom, it's free of charge. Installers can come in and become certified in a relatively short period of time from their own homes, having a sandwich as they eat and watch us.
we're an IPA.
Or an IPA, thank you very much. And that's it. It's a unique program, and then we allow them to offer a lifetime warranty. Why?
I don't know.
Because we know if they install it and it lasts for a week and they hook their Fluke tester, you just had Fluke on.
Well, I got to be agnostic when it comes to that, but
Datacom, Ideal, the sophisticated testers that we know.
Trend.
Brother, excuse me.
AM.
You put in.
Yep.
Good. You put those testers on, and if they pass, we know it's going to last for a lifetime.
Right.
So very easy for us.
Yep. Well, or until the next new line of, the Cat 7s, the Cat 8s, the Cat 10s. You know, I've been in this industry when I was doing, the thin net, the thick net. I was doing IBM Type 1. I used to work for a living. Don't tell anyone. But I used to install this stuff. And so, Cat 4.
You know what?
I installed Cat 4.
You know what, Todd? I'll buy that. I'm not sure the rest of the people will.
I don't.
Good.
But Cat 4, right? And you look like you've been in the industry a real long time,
I remember
too.
Cat 4 was here for 37
3
days.
months.
And then went to 5 years. Yeah, exactly.
So, and you know what? Even when I was installing, is that we had our end-to-end solutions that were spec'd in, and I wasn't certified for most of them. And I'll go back to say it's changed names many, many times. Even getting AT&T certified, I couldn't do it. And so I would use some non-proprietary. That's a big word for me, folks. Non-proprietary. I'd use non-proprietary products, right? And as long as it would spec out, and I can give them 10 meg of data, that was big back then,
Right.
then they really didn't care. And so, you follow, I think, in that same line, and a value-add solution, and again, as long as you're supplying them clean throughput, and, what's the word I'm looking for? It was
Bandwidth.
It was a bit latency.
Latency, good.
Latency, that's another big one. Holy
A
hell.
lack of impedance.
This
good
IPS
crosstalk.
it's making me smart. Anyway,
Awesome. I couldn't have said it better. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Okay,
so I stole
hit
your
it on the
thunder.
head. No,
Okay.
no, you didn't. You
Well,
said it eloquently, and that's what we want.
That's a big word too, man. Eloquently.
Listen, I know you've been doing this for a long time, so thank you so much. I'm going to let you go.
What do you have? What the hell is that?
I got a glass of wine. A double
No,
this
what
thing
the hell
right
is
here.
that tool?
Well, we've got a punch down tool that's just so fantastic. It's orange so that the guy doesn't lose it in the equipment room.
That's amazing.
Nice
look at
color, isn't it?
Look at that. I love the color.
The darn thing fits right in your pocket.
Yeah.
And
Termination tool.
Termination tool.
Okay.
Crimping tool. You stick the jack in there, boom, cuts the wires off. You're done.
Man.
Yeah.
And
Record time.
You know, I mean, what?
300 jacks get you a free tool. Only from Hyperline. You heard it here live.
300 jacks will get you a free tool.
Yeah. We just put it in the box, ship
Listen,
it right to the
put me
installer.
down for 3 tools.
Well, also, you
All right,
got it.
so
900 jacks it is.
Write the order. 300 jacks. What the hell did I do? 300 jacks. I think I could put 3 jacks in my house, in my little tiny home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they'd be
anyway,
both.
hey, thank you very
Awesome,
much.
Todd. Thank you so much.
I saved the absolute
That's right.
best for last.
That's
You
right.
got it here on film. The best for last. Thank you. And www.hyperline.com. I do have contact information. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, or some bad advice, certainly reach out to either one of us, and we can,
That would be us.
Make that happen. So listen,
Good. Thank you so much.
wow, you
Enjoy
know what?
the
The
show.
show is now closed.
Woo!
We're on overtime.
We're done.
Overtime. Thank you very much. Bye, y'all.